What's up, everybody? I'm Joshua Yale, and in your fix of entertainment news today, J.J. Abrams says what we've all been thinking about the Star Wars sequels, and he gives an update on the Portal movie, plus James Bond has a new home. Let's go. The dead speak! Star Wars director J.J. Abrams has finally admitted that the Disney sequel trilogy needed a plan. You think? Whether you loved or hated the sequel trilogy, pretty much everyone agrees it lacked a single cohesive vision, and that Finn and Rey still need to have at least one important conversation.
Rey, I never told you when!
Why would you have him say that and not come back around to it? Now, in a new interview with Collider, Abrams reflected on his experience with Star Wars, saying, quote, "The lesson is that you have to plan things as best you can, and you always need to be able to respond to the unexpected. And the unexpected can come in all sorts of forms, and I do think that there's nothing more important than knowing where you're going." You know, like some kind of written blueprint for the movie where you can just read it and it says everything that's gonna happen in the movie. They should invent something like that. But seriously, if only we could do for Abrams what Days of Future Past did for Charles Xavier and let him go back and give his younger self his own advice. As we all well know by now, Abrams kicked off the sequel trilogy with The Force Awakens, but didn't plan the rest of the story out with concrete answers to the big mysteries surrounding Snoke, Luke, Finn, right? Pretty much everything, really. Instead, he handed off the creative reins to Rian Johnson for the sequel and never planned on coming back as per Disney's plan. But when Colin Trevorrow was kicked off Episode 9, Abrams returned to finish the story, only the space train had gone so far off the tracks he laid down that he had to take a heavy hand to the story to get things back where he wanted them, to questionable success. Ultimately, the way the last 3 Star Wars movies changed hand time and again left the underlying structure as fractured as a Star Destroyer that just got hyper-driven through. In the interview, Abrams went on to talk about how over the course of his career, he's worked on projects with plans, but that didn't always mean they worked out perfectly, and a lot of things tended to change along the way. But in the end, he admits that plans are essential to delivering a satisfying conclusion, saying, quote, "Having a plan, I have learned, in some cases the hard way, is the most critical thing, because otherwise you don't know what you're setting up. You don't know what to emphasize. Because if you don't know the inevitable of the story, you're just as good as your last sequence or effect or joke or whatever, but you want to be leading to something inevitable." After years of fans saying pretty much the exact same thing, it's refreshing to hear Abrams speak so candidly about the biggest criticism of the sequel trilogy. We know that Disney is currently planning what the future of Star Wars movies will look like, so here's hoping they've taken this criticism to heart and plot everything out a bit more carefully this time.
This is the way.
But that's not all Abrams had to say this week. We interviewed him too, and of course, IGN gonna IGN, and we asked him all about the video game movies he's working on, and we got an exciting update on the long-gestating Portal movie. Abrams confirmed the film is in active development, saying, quote, "We actually do have a script that's being written for the Portal movie now at Warner Brothers. We're really excited about the take and the pitch, so it feels like that thing's finally on the rails." That's good news for fans of Valve's hit video game series, as the movie based on the games renowned for their long development cycles has itself been in development for 8 years. Abrams went on to say, quote, "It's got enormous potential for a lot of reasons, one of which is because of the limited narrative of the game. As ingeniously told as it is, the potential of it is so huge. It's gonna be super fun." And he's right, Portal is super fun, until you have to do one of those puzzles with the floating turrets. You know what I'm talking about, you know the ones. Let's hope they skip that for the movie. And hopefully it won't be long until Shell is teleporting her way out of the Aperture Science building while being taunted by GLaDOS on the big screen sometime soon. All I know is if they don't get Jonathan Coulton to write the credits song, they're doing it wrong. And finally, James Bond has a new home thanks to Amazon purchasing MGM Studios for a pretty money penny. Just kidding, they spent a whopping $8.45 billion. In Amazon's announcement of the purchase, the company said they will preserve MGM's heritage and catalog of films. And what a film catalog it is! In addition to 007, the MGM sale brings with it over 4,000 films, including RoboCop, The Wizard of Oz, The Hobbit, the Rocky and Creed franchise, Tomb Raider, and Silence of the Lambs. But it doesn't stop there. MGM also boasts 17,000 hours of television, including Fargo, Vikings, and The Handmaid's Tale.
Your move, creep.
Amazon no doubt saw MGM as a valuable asset to increase the library of content on their Prime Video streaming service. But they're not the only ones making big moves. Earlier this week, AT&T spun off Warner Media and merged it with Discovery to form a new super media company, a deal that cost $43 billion. Wow, all these big mega corporations throwing around billions of dollars, and here I am, unable to afford a bed frame. And that's all for your fix of entertainment news today. I'm Joshua Yale, and thank you so much for watching. Now that you're all caught up on the news, check out our breakdown of that Warner Media Discovery deal and what it means for you. Download the IGN app on all your devices, check out the Entertainment Fix on Snapchat, and for your next fix, keep it locked to IGN.